as Game 2 is about to begin. So it looks like for Game 2, we're both starting with Flashman. Flashman being one of the easier stages to go through in the randomizer, not much weapon use. Enemies can be easy to deal with. You can get E-Tank along the way if you need it. So otherwise, as far as the stage goes, it's a straightforward stage that doesn't pose too much troubles.
Yeah, also gives the runners the opportunity to test the walls for buster weakness and kind of get an E-Tank, which can be pretty useful at the later stages.
And it looks like our music is gonna be stuff from Metal Slug. Actually, this music was a Metal Slug track. If I can recall my music gathering knowledge correctly, it was used for Airman stage and Deus Ex Machina. So, pretty interesting music choice for a Flash stage. Meanwhile, dagit and CapitanBublo are still trudging along Flashman stage with little troubles. The Metroids, the M544s as they're actually called, are one shot. They're usually a nuisance to deal with, but they're very easy to shoot down.
Due to the nature of the stage, Dagit kind of slipped away, missing his E-Tank, but CapitanBublo kept his consciousness and got the E-Tank this time.
Yeah, and Bublo also tested out the walls for Buster. It was Stop Buster Week, so there's going to be another weapon that destroys the walls. Meanwhile, we got an accelerated leaf shield for Woodman. Woodman has a chance that he can actually fire his leaf shield very early and slowly before going full speed. That's a really nasty AI quirk that the randomizer can give Woodman, and he is hitting Dagit and Bublo hard. They both died on Woodman their first attempts, but Dagit on his second attempt is actually able to beat Woodman. Meanwhile, Bublo is still kind of struggling. He got the E-Tank from earlier, but he didn't need it. Fortunately, he was able to beat Woodman. So good job for our both players.
Yeah, I would have did the same. He refused to use the E-Tank and try again. But that was just mean from Woodman. Those slow leaf shields, they can be kind of a pain because you either need to pause buffer, and on this slippery boss arena, it's really hard to kind of position yourself to do that. So props to them, both of them pull through, and CapitanBublo actually doesn't go too quick like Dagit. He decides to do bubble stage.
Going back to Woodman's scenario, it's not that the leads go slow in that particular AI quirk. It's the fact that it goes slow and then changes speeds on a dime. That's what the accelerated leaf shield does. The accelerated leaf shield pretty much does something akin to a false start. It moves much earlier before it actually moves at its proper speed. So it's kind of like a change up in baseball terms, where you start off with very slow speeds and then it might just accelerate in a quick instant. So it messes up jump timing when you're trying to guess when to jump over the leaf shield.
Yeah, it's actually impossible for the runners to know that timing, so it's really tough for them as well. And Dagit with that really risky life pickup, which we see sometimes in any. And meanwhile, CapitanBublo actually kind of failed the zip, but he will traverse now the bubble area regularly.
See, the water in Bubbleman stage is actually pretty kind of morbid. It's blood red. It's like swimming through somebody's organs or something.
It's like those games when you're actually entering a monster's stomach or whatever, and you're now inside of him.
Meanwhile, Dagit is taking on Quickman in Vanilla Quickman Arena. It looked like he was Buster weak, but he tried to seek another weakness, but ends up going back to Buster anyway and quickly deals with Quickman.
Well, see that Dagit has removed the first two easy stages while fishing for an item right there, and he gets actually an item 3. Meanwhile, Captain just entering the boss door. Let's see what Robot Master he will get.
That is gonna start with Airman stage. Pretty dangerous stage to go without item 1 or item 2. But it looks like you got Metal Man for Bubble Arena, our good Capitan. Getting him into a dance, but having a hard time hitting him. He's actually quick immune, so he winds up switching straight to Buster, and Metal is Buster weak as well.
And
Meanwhile,
due
we got
to the water, his eye actually changes. You can see his jumps are really not vanilla. He's doing some strange jumps, throwing off a lot of the CapitanBublo's timings.
Yeah, what the water physics affect everything. Even Metal Man is affected by the water physics, so it's just really worth knowing what to do and how the boss is going to react in certain areas. Meanwhile, Dagit dies in air, and this is exactly what we're talking about. Airman can be really tough if you don't have your items and know what enemies are along the way. While you started off with gear enemies, all of a sudden you got birds that are going to be continuously spawning throughout the remainder of the area. And of course, with the clouds obscuring vision, you could have a situation where the birds can just pretty much just block your jump and you wind up falling into pits. And the good Capitan is following suit. So we don't know how our Capitan's gonna adjust to how the level design in Airman stage is gonna work out.
Also, shoutouts to Trinity for guessing that's Mega Mario, and that's actually a very juicy soundtrack.
Yep, that's correct. I believe it's Yomu's. I want to say this Yomu's theme. I'm gonna have to double check that.
Seems that our runners, meanwhile, are playing really safe with those eggs. They don't want to risk it, so they take it one at a time, not rushing their jumps, one at a time, and they're pulling through. I can see them completing it slowly but surely.
As the runners continue the rest of the final half of Airman stage, during the first half, I'm pretty sure you was wondering why there were no long open air section with the Lightning Lords. Duckfish, the creator of the Randomizer, decided to alter the stage so that there would be little chance of glitching. Actually, the thing is, the Lightning Lords in previous versions of the Randomizer, if they were like the birds you see right now, if the birds were spawned in the arena, there was a chance that the Lightning Lords would actually despawn and the platforms would no longer exist. Not only that, there was also a chance that an invisible random platform can just spawn on top of you, and it pretty much makes the stage unplayable. So Duckfish decides to just redesign the stage so that it can be passable regardless of what enemy is around. But as a trade-off, you can have just enemies just block your way in awkward jumping areas.
That's correct. Meanwhile, we see our first victim to the Airman stage, and because of the nature of Flash, he lost quite a bit of lives there. He decided to switch the stage to Metal. And I will respect that choice, because sometimes it can be really annoying without any tech like item 2, item 1, completing the air stage, and he decides to get the D-tanks and try the Metal stage, but he dies to chickens because it's really awkward. These chickens are really awkward in Metal stage, actually. And if they don't die fast, you take a lot of damage.
Yeah, the corridors in Metal are really small. They take a lot of damage to Buster. Really annoying chickens to make. Meanwhile, Capitan actually defeated Airman stage and now going to Quickman, which what Dagit has actually finished not too long ago.
Yeah, that will allow him to take his safety E-tank there and fishing for those items that they actually really need right now, because it seems that the stages are really hard this time.
Yo, we got some pretty rough enemies in this particular siege, so it's gonna be a test to see how these runners are gonna adjust to how the enemies are gonna be spaced out throughout the entire seed.
As shamefully as it seems, I actually don't know these runners as runners. What what Mega Man's times they have at the Tyrant Mega Man. So it's really new to me to see them and see how they perform on the randomizer.
It's kind of the same in regards for me. I haven't seen these runners before. I want to assume that they may have prior Mega Man running experience, but I'm pretty sure they're also new to how the randomizer works. Or if not, we're just not in the know. Because after all, they could be just playing these randomizers offline, and they probably have experience through there. Regardless of the matter, it's good to see more runners play this randomizer. It's a good randomizer. It can be rough for new players, but to me it feels like a rewarding experience to play these randomizers, beating them, and just learning how to adapt on the fly on what the sea gives, like a Flash in Metal Room, for example.
Yeah, it's always good to see someone new to the randomizer adapting, but I don't think they're new to Mega Man. See, I think Dagit showed he's new just out this Metal Man, the big jump on Metal that he just did. He paused buffer, that means he knows there is something down there, which means he's not actually new at the game, and he actually gets item 1, so we're actually gonna see some juicy stuff here.
So with item 1 in hand, we're gonna see how good item 1 is. Item 1 is the only item in this game that has randomized attributes. So we don't know if it's gonna be a good item 1 or a bad item 1. If it rises quickly, if it rises slow, if it lasts long, or if it lasts short, or if it's just flat out stationary. We're probably about to find out in a little bit, as Dag is probably gonna try to use it for the bubble zip if he knows how to do so.
Exactly. That's not the case for weapons, though. I've seen CapitanBublo switch to a lot of weapons, and those can be really useful. They are changed as well in the randomizer in so many ways you can't even imagine. But I think they will showcase it right now, and right here.
Dagit tried to use the pause buffer for the bubble zip, but fails, and doesn't try to use item 1 for the item 1 zip. So I'm going to assume that he doesn't know how to do the item 1 zip and bubble. But of course, we don't even know if item 1 is even usable to zip, as we haven't seen it in action yet. So it might still wind up being useless in the grand scheme of things.
And as you might see, Creed, things have changed a bit. Now, CapitanBublo is performing really well, while Dagit is having big issues with the seed. So I'm looking forward to see what Dagit can do to come back, or what CapitanBublo can do to go to a third race.
Yeah, third race is definitely looming, but we still got quite a bit of race to go. We don't know what's going to be happening in the remaining stages, and of course the Wily stages are also in the back burner as well, waiting to see if they can trip up our racers. Meanwhile, our Capitan is dealing with the hot dogs using metal blades to annihilate them very quickly. Meanwhile, Dag is about to have his shot at underwater metal.
And you see how slowly this metal comes down while shooting. This can throw you off so much. You're used to his patterns, like mid jump, small jump, big jump. But when he's underwater, he does that slow coming down. So you must adapt on the fly.
Yeah, remember, everything is affected by water physics. Meanwhile, Bublo's going for good wood, and right now he's being very successful. Right now, he got through the main zipping issues and is about to proceed straight into the boss corridor if he's able to do the remaining part of good wood correctly. He's set up, and that's it. That is officially good wood by our good old Capitan, as he pretty much ignores the remainder of Woodman stage and is about to fight whomever's in our Woodman arena.
Wow, that's a really great job from him. That wasn't expected, at least for me, because he kind of forget that he lost his first race. He's doing his best right now. I don't think he died that much after Flash, and he did that much mistakes after Flash, so he's performing his best right now.
And we got a crazy crash. This particular Crashman quirk allows him to shoot crash bombs no matter what. No matter if a crash bomb is already on the screen, he can still continuously fire crash bombs. And crash bombs wind up causing a game over on CapitanBublo's screen. So he's gonna have to redo Woodman all over again, which means he's gonna have to force to do good wood yet again.
Due to the unfortunate death there, he lost life due to Goodwood and he lost life due to Clashman. So that's the risk of zips, guys. That's the risk of zips. When you get to that kind of clash, that every input that you make, he spams a clash bomb. It's kind of unfortunate for him.
We got Krabs on the normal scenic route in Woodman stage as Dagit continues on normally. So he's about to make his own merry way straight into Crashman, but he's still got a couple of screens to go since he doesn't do the wood zips. So we're about to see what enemies the good Capitan skipped over.
He kind of checked for item 2. That's some glitchless stuff there. Item 2 to traverse the bottom section faster because it's actually mech infested. Oh dear.
So in the grand scheme of things, our good Capitan made a good old decision by doing good wood, because now Dagget's gonna have to force to pretty much burrow his way through some very tough and hard-hitting enemies. And I don't know if he tried to kill him or not. We don't know if at least the Joe mechs are Buster weak, or at least have low damage values. And Leaf Shield is actually reverse horizontal as well. So we getting a lot of information, at least on Dagget's screen, on how Woodman and at least the Leaf Shields act.
And that's a very typical thing for the randomizer. Some of the stuff can be reversed, including Quickman's weapon. Like he can shoot straight up and come back to you at an enormous distance sometimes.
Well, CapitanBublo has officially beaten round 2 of his Crashman fight and is now moving on to his next Robot Master. Dag is still gonna have to suffer through these mechs. And looks like Quick Boomerang is doing a sufficient job, but he brings back another mech on screen, taking unnecessary damage. But he's about to go through the wood corridor and about to face his crazy crash.
Let's see if that will surprise him and caught him off guard. Meanwhile, CapitanBublo is taking his metal stage, not actually doing metal zips, denying the metal zips. He'll actually do it normally throughout the chickens.
And it looks like Bubbles are pretty strong against the chickens. They're pretty much one-shotting him, but the trajectory of the bubbles are really awkward. It has a very high arc and it sticks to ceilings. So it was kind of difficult for Bublo to actually hit the chickens consistently.
And I don't know the projectile limiter, but I will guess 2, like in vanilla, because I haven't seen 3 shots. And he has to wait for those bubbles to go off screen so he can shoot again. Oh, it can be pretty annoying.
Yeah, the amount of bubbles that he can shoot are randomized. So you can have at least 1 bubble, and I've seen at least up to 4. It seems like the bubbles that are fired are maximum of 2 shots on screen.
And straight away I can say this seed is much tougher because they're fishing much more for weapons throughout the stages, which doesn't happen that much if the seed is friendly, but due to the nature of this seed, everything is hard, so they must switch weapons to continue through the stage.
Bublo doing a very fantastic save. He bumped his head trying to exit out the E-Tank area in Metal Man stage and was wisely pause buffer right back to the ledge so he can go for a second attempt where he was successful. And now he's about to face his next Robot Master in Metal Man Arena.
And oddly enough, he decides not to switch weapons and just pause buffer over the gap, which is actually a smart thing because now he enters the arena with a weapon. And Dagit is continuing to struggle with that Woodman stage.
And yeah, that's a really neat quirk that Bublo is exposing. When Flashman is out there on a wall, if Metal Man, the Metal Blades actually are at least somewhat susceptible, you can actually lock him into the walls, and he actually just scales out the walls. So you can actually just hit him while he's in the air. It's actually kind of neat to try.
Yeah, and that's interesting about the randomizer, getting those different weapons, using them in different ways, enhancing your gameplay in so many ways. Meanwhile, CapitanBublo, I'm pretty sure he's gonna attempt the crash zip because after getting the item 1, he got there immediately. But no, he proves me wrong. Sorry, he proves me wrong, and he actually is hesitating a lot.
Maybe he forgot he has item 1.
Oh, he's clearing. That means he knows. He'll try it.
Well, regardless of the matter, you wouldn't have been zipping anyway. The item 1 in this seat is stationary.
Yeah, meaning only task zip is possible, I think, and that's very difficult for any player input. Doesn't matter if you're new or old.
Meanwhile, Dagit barely survives the crazy crash fight and is rewarded with a beaten boss. Meanwhile, he's gonna go to Heatman for his next Robot Master. Heatman is another dangerous stage in the randomizer. We don't know what's about to be in here. We're about to find out in a quick moment. Single shot mess for 1. And Fat Fins later on. Now he gets interesting.
Oh dear, this is the worst case scenario, moving mets, and one of the worst case scenarios, moving mets that can hit you no matter what, and fans that threw off your jump timings.
Honestly, I don't think the Mets are a better scenario because you can actually take damage in case you fall into the lava, and you can safely try to adjust yourself for the Fat Fans. The Fat Fans are the real major issues in areas like these, because if you don't know if they're in there, you can, especially when you're trying to do a jump over a pit, spikes, or in this case instant kill lava, you can wind up being halted part way and wind up falling to the lava to your death.
Talking about those fans more, I personally have an issue, like when you kill those fans, they drop a health ammo. Sometimes you pick it, lose iframes, and you die to the lava. It's that easy. There are so many ways to die, actually.
Meanwhile, Dagit fails his attempt at his item 3 zip. The bunny pretty much just blocking him with all the firing carrots, just pretty much preventing Dagit from even attempting to do the item 3 zip, so he's forced to go through it vanilla.
Yeah, if you fall down that ladder, it's good to clear everything that's down before you perform that zip, because most of the stuff will knock you off that item 3 and will make that zip hard or impossible, one of the two. Meanwhile, CapitanBublo isn't having that big issues with that Clash climb, so he'll traverse to his boss fight on the Clash stage.
And it seems like Dagit has not found item 2 yet, so he's forced to do the Yoku blocks legit. But the Yoku block section isn't really that bad, but it's really scary because of the fact that you have to traverse over pitfalls and lava, so it's really intimidating. But Dagit is not intimidated and goes through the Yoku block section fine.
Yeah, on a tournament setting, everything is scary. I know myself that it doesn't matter if it feels easy on practice. When you go to a tournament, you know you must do this, you have no other choice. Everything can be scary. And CapitanBublo actually gets a very, not defensive, but annoying airman patterns, which he has no chance to shoot him.
Meanwhile, Heatman is in his vanilla room, so good job, game. Way to keep it classy. It looks like, is Bubbles the weakness? Yep, Bubbles at least a weakness, but he takes a death to Heatman. Meanwhile, Bublo is actually beating Airman, so he's about to go to his next stage.
Oh, he had nowhere to go there. Like the Heatman fire throwing pattern was strange, and he got cornered out. Had no other choice. And this Heatman, I think it's faster than normal, and his patterns are kind of strange. I think he's doing fast mostly.
Also, Crash was locking item 2, so Captain Bublo actually could catch up a little bit of ways to Daggett because he'd be able to actually fly over, or in this case under, the Yoku section, but he still got to go through the area with the Fat Fans and the Mets. So we're gonna see. Well, he uses metal to at least kill the Fat Fans quickly, but we're gonna see how much more he's gonna have to take it. See, and that's what I'm talking about. The Mets actually saving him from falling into the pits, the lava pits, by taking the damage boost. Intentional or not, it still saved him from instantly dying to the lava pits.
Well, that was so lucky. I don't even consider that as a help. That was really lucky, him hitting that edge of the Met just to save his life.
Meanwhile, Daggett is going to Crash. I know this is Captain Bublo's final Robot Master. I'm going to assume that Crash is also Daggett's final Robot Master as well, unless I still don't remember him beating Air.
Oh, and actually Captain Bublo also does the RM3 zip, which will put him even closer to Daggett. I think he's now ahead. Yeah, he's now ahead, I'm sure.
Yeah, at this point, we might gonna have to assume that Bublo is officially in the lead, while Daggett is still trudging through Crash. And Crash is actually the longest stage in the game, with all the vertical movement, and with the proper uses of items. Heatman really isn't a short stage, and this is his Bublo's last Robot Master. So after he fights Heatman, he's gonna be going straight to the Wily stages.
He actually chooses a different tactic using Clash, but I think he'll fish. Oh dear, he's close to his death, and his last E-Tank, he will use it just to not die. That's a smart move, actually.
Squirms are blocking Daggett's ascent towards the Crash climb, so he decides to take the left side. However, blocked again. Yeah, so Daggett's gonna have to find a ways to continue his climb and avoid all the remaining squirms. Meanwhile, Bublo begins his fight in the Wily stages. So since we actually started with Wily stages, it's that time again. We're gonna have to guess that dragon. So the colors are randomized. In this case, we're trying to figure out what color the Mega Dragon is going to be. Prodigy, I'm pretty sure I know what you're guessing.
Yes, it's the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Let's see your guesses, guys. Let's see what you think, but mostly I wanna also know what Creed thinks. What's gonna be the dragon? Are you going for that chromo again?
As always, I'm gonna be looking for monochrome. A lot of grays, whites, and blacks. Like I said, I want to see one in this tournament, and I'll be satisfied.
Also about that Daggett, then he decides to go to Clash from the left side, to do the climb from the left side. If you're gonna pick up that tank, I do believe that's faster, and he wants that tank. So
as Bublo continues his way towards the Mega Dragon, Airman actually has a really long jump. You are not safe at the walls. Airman is gonna hug that wall, and Daggett takes an unfortunate death to Airman as a result.
yeah, I think he refused to use the E-Tank that he picked up, so he'll take the death, and then if he has no trouble this time, he will join Captain Bublo and Wily as well. They're pretty close to each other,
I'm not sure yet. I want to see the actual screen, because I don't remember Daggett finishing Airman. He exited Airman stage earlier in order to go to the metal next. If I recall correctly.
That's right. He forfeited Airman because of no tick.
Yep. As I thought, he still got to finish Airman. So at this point, this is Bublo's race to lose, because he has a massive advantage on Daggett, since Daggett struggled quite a bit on Airman stage.
Let's see how he fares with all that tech, though. He basically have everything in the game that's possible to take before doing Airman stage. Meanwhile, the dragon is...
It looks like he's a sherbet ice cream.
Oh dear. That yellow, green, pink.
It's a sherbet dragon.
He seems very happy though.
Well, who wouldn't be happy about eating sherbet ice cream? I love sherbet ice cream. Well, regardless of the matter, the dragon he found a weakness for the Mecha Dragon. He's weak to air shooter. And he goes straight to Wily 2.
Yeah, he kept his calm there, even though he didn't find, I think he fished 2 or 3 times. He didn't find it, he kept his calm, dodged the fireballs, and there we go, Wily 2. And Dagit is actually doing Buster only again, and this time cautiously.
Yeah, he's having a much better go around in Airman stage, but he's still a ways behind as our good Capitan continues his stretch in Wily 2, where the first part has a lot of chickens.
He takes his sweet time to refill some of his much needed weapon ammo, and actually fishing some chickens for ammo.
I'm not sure it's a wise decision to use ammo to fish for ammo. It's kind of counterproductive, especially since you don't know what weaknesses are going to be coming ahead of time.
And that was a very ammo consuming.
Why are we still seeing chickens here? We should be seeing chickens that deep into Wily 2 before the next screen transition. What the heck?
Imagine one of those chickens, just one of them decided to jump and just knock him down from the item too. That's just horrible. But Randomizer, here we go.
That's really actually not supposed to happen. There's supposed to be a trigger that prevents the chickens from stopping spawning. I think Bublo kind of, in going back trying to fish for ammo, just messed up the spawn triggers, and the chickens just kept on coming. That was really, really dangerous. Also, the walls are weak to Bubble.
Oh, Bubble again. And walls being weak to Bubble can be really tricky to destroy sometimes because of the nature of Bubble going up, and wall actually hitbox being strange. It sometimes can be really tricky to destroy.
So anyway, as Dagit finally begins his assault on the Wily Fortress, our good Capitan is getting walled by our Chanky makers. He took a lot of hits. It looks like you got to be fishing for life energy before fixing Pico Pico.
Yeah, those contact damages really hurt, and going with low life on Pico Pico can be really, really scary sometimes, especially when you don't know his weakness.
But this could present a problem for our good captain, because Dagit is slowly catching up. If Bublo continues his grind, trying to farm for energy, Dagit can and will catch up, but Dagit is also taking the beating. If Dagit takes a death, his time to catch up could be in vain.
Yeah, because he got knocked down, Captain got knocked down, he lost all of his item 3 ammo, and had to kind of fish these fire guys. Meanwhile, Dagit with so low health. I'm really concerned about that dragon fight. No, let's see how it fares.
Forget the dragon fight. We got another concerning factor with Pico Pico. I'm pretty sure Bublo has an energy tank, but he better use it. Otherwise, he really can't afford to take a hit. There we go. There's our E-tank usage. He really couldn't afford another hit on Pico Pico. Pico is really damaging, and you really can't be afford to playing with your life with low energy on Pico Pico.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, he does 6 damage, and CapitanBublo had exactly 6 HP. So that was a really wise decision using the E-tank there.
So he finds a weakness in air for Pika Pika, but not doing too much. He's gonna wind up running out. He's probably gonna dig for another weakness, and he winds up using his last energy tank on him. But he finds another weakness in Quick Boomerang, which is probably a much better weakness to use. I don't think he tried to fish for Buster as a weakness. If he tried to fish for Buster as a weakness, he might have not worried about doing too much, but he was really rolling on the edge. But he was able to beat Pico.
Yeah, good job from him. It's also generally better to fish for Buster and leave first. Also, props to Dagit for completing that dragon fight with 4 HP throughout most of the stage, let's say.
So Bublo is about to go into Wily 3 as Daggett. Hopefully we won't see any more chickens spawning and he just continues on. Not trying to farm for health and mess up the spawning triggers. There we go. Get the flying. Well, you can look back, but don't go back.
Nice and smoothly this time. Meanwhile, CapitanBublo, I don't think we're gonna see any fish, but oh, that's a reasonable mech, guys. So a reasonable Joe, guys. So he doesn't. Oh, he hesitates a bit. He's scared. I think he's playing it really safe there.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there'll probably be a few wondering why you don't see the fish in Wily 3. For the sake of the randomizer, there are some enemies that are really hard to work with, like the fish in Wily 3, the anglerfish mini boss in Bubble Man stage. Those were really hard to code in, so Duckfish decides just to flat out ignore them and not worry about them. So you probably won't see any anglerfishes or those snapping piranhas that you would normally see in Wily 3, just for the sake of coding simplicity.
Yeah, and also for the safety of the players, not only for coding. Imagine seeing an anglerfish at this stage or in Wily 4. That's gonna be a real nightmare for the runners. So, and seems that another mech-infested corridor for CapitanBublo, but he fares quite well. Let's see how he destroys Guts Tank.
We're sticking with metal right now, and he's metal immune. Decide to go to Crash. He's Crash immune. Will he try Buster? He completely ignores Buster, but I think he does find the weakness in Bubble. But you should always try to at least check for Buster. There's always a chance that Raleigh bots can be weak to Buster, so you don't have a chance to worry about the ammo count, which is right now a growing problem for our good Capitan.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys see his pulse screen. All of his ammo, most of his ammo, were pretty low, so it's really concerning now because Wily 4 is coming and he has only 2 ammo refills here.
And we do not know the weakness for the boobies, and Bubble is a wall weakness. And we now just thinking about it, he did use Bubble for the Guts Tank, but he wisely decides to use the weapon capsules that are in Wily 4 and refills Bubble, so the walls shouldn't be that much of an issue. But since Bubble is a wall weakness, and the awkward nature of Bubbles with walls, it's going to be interesting to see how he works with it.
I'm pretty sure he's praying now that the Bobines is not weak to Leaf Shield because he's really low on 2 weapons. I believe Leaf Shield and I'm gonna say Air Shooter, but I don't remember.
You will, if you're going from the bottom and not doing the Wily 4 zips, you're probably going to want to check for Leaf Shield and Metal Blaze for Boobeam weakness, since you can aim them upwards and you won't have to worry about digging for any other weaponry. That can use an item 2 to bypass the long section in Wily 3, which was only fortunate because the enemies were favorable that it was viable. Meanwhile, our good captain is still slowly traversing Wily 4. That is actually closing in really fast. He's not that far behind.
Yeah, CapitanBublo is playing really safe. not risking anything, getting all the E-tanks he can get. Meanwhile, Dagit is risking it all, and he almost actually died on Wily 3, that metal guy. But luckily, the metal guy spawned a bit late, and he was able to go with the item 2 there.
So CapitanBublo is about to enter a very dangerous section, but there's not many enemies, but that one shotman could prove troublesome. That was an ill-advised pause.
I always hate when you forget to ladder with Mega Man. It's so annoying. Sometimes you just let loose the ladder and you die. It happens.
Yeah, you gotta remember this is still adhering to Mega Man 2 gameplay and physics. Whenever you exit from a pause screen, Mega Man will let go out of the ladders. So to pause at that time was slightly ill-advised, but I'm probably gonna assume that Bublo just forgot that letting go of ladders after a pause was a thing.
Now, second try, let's go. He paused because he wants to get rid of this enemy so desperately. He knows he can get knocked back and die because of this guy.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate that the shotman was Buster immune, so he's just gonna take the roll of the dice and hope he doesn't get shot down. And he does. And he tries to use item 1 to scale right back up, but he couldn't recover. This is really becoming a huge deal. Dagit is slowly fighting Guts Tank. He does have his weakness, but the more time CapitanBublo dies, the more of a chance Dagit is able to catch up. And if Bublo game's over, it's pretty much, well, the lead may change hands. And I think he's really low on item 1s now.
Yeah, his ammo 1 is really scarce right now, so he cannot rush that section anymore. And I hope he's not tilted. This section, as I said before, tilts a lot of players and throws a lot of players off. So stay calm, Bublo. It's nothing to worry about. Just kill that enemy. Do it normally. You're not behind still.
And he does use metal blades to safely destroy the shotman, as it was not immune to the blades. So now he can just easily coast through the platform sections. But Boo Beam still awaits, as well as the remaining straightaway before Boo Beam. We don't know what enemies are going to be around, and we don't know what the weapon situation is for anything, actually. So there is still a lot of questions heading into Boo Beam as Dagit begins his ascent to Wily 4.
Now that both of them are so close to each other, it's only one death away. I think only one mistake away, and we will see actually pretty close, if not signed race.
Bublo has the lives to keep going, but as you said, one death would put him way back, and he does not have enough items to traverse the rest of the moving platforms to try and skip it. Anyway, CapitanBublo is starting to dig for weaknesses for Boo Beam, and he's taking quite a bit of a pounding as he tries to dig for a weakness. Decides to use the bubbles. Does he have a... There we go. Use the E-Tank. Use your resources. You still got a chance to destroy the Boo Beams. Right now, he's still fishing and still doesn't know what to do.
Oh, I think this was really unfortunate. Wow, that happened actually. He doesn't have enough ammo to actually finish the fight, I think.
Did we see Bublo use every single weapon? The booby should be weak to something. There should be no means for him to lose unless he's low. Was Leaf Shield a weakness?
No, he haven't used those because he doesn't have any ammo on Leaf Shield and Air Shooter. So it must be one of those two, but he doesn't have enough ammo. So I think what the logical thing to do is fish on the boss corridor before Wily 4 and before Booby, and he's gonna do it right now, but he lost a lot of time, and as you may see, they're so close to each other right now. I think even Daggett is ahead.
Yeah, Daggett is clearly ahead now. But now he's gonna have to deal with the shotman now. And he takes an unfortunate shot, and he's low on item 1s as well. So item 4 is really becoming the deciding factor in who wins this race. If whoever safely traverses I was about to say item 4 for some reason, Wily 4, and beats Booby, finding his proper weakness, we might have ourselves a winner. But we still got Wily 5 and the Wily Machine and the Alien to deal with. So this has turned out to be a really hotly contested match at the final stages of the game.
That's a real nail biter, and it's still really close because actually CapitanBublo will now slow down fishing for weapons, for weapon ammo, because he needs to refill this air shooter and this leaf shield. He knows it's one of those two that's the weakness for Bluebeam, and he doesn't have them. So he will fish for a long time here. He's not lucky.
Also, to address the chat, I saw someone say that the beams will reach a crash. This is Mega Man 2 Randomizer. There's no guarantee that the blue beams were weak to the vanilla weakness. And I'm pretty sure I saw Bublo use crash on the blue beams and it was ineffective. So we're not really sure what the weakness is, and we're assuming it's Leaf Shield as Bublo is refilling Leaf Shield. And what I'm assuming is the weakness for the blue beams. And yep, his Leaf Shield is pretty much a god. Well, one of the god weaknesses for blue beam, and it's actually full reverse horizontal and vertical movement for the Leaf Shield.
Oh, he completes it first. Okay. Oh, okay. I was kind of concerned there he will make a couple of mistakes, but he recovers. Let's see how Dagit fares though. I think he saved all his ammo, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Yeah, he has ammo, he has E-tanks.
And Daggett figures out the Leaf Shield is Leaf Weak much faster than Bublo, but Bublo is still slightly ahead.
That's still not a guarantee though. Imagine if that machine is weak to air shooter, he still doesn't have that. He still doesn't have any air shooter in his inventory, so it's nothing is guaranteed until the end.
Daggett is making a little bit of an unfortunate decision. With the Leaf Shield, he can actually shoot below the blue beams and hit them from below. He didn't have to destroy the remaining walls. He actually wasted time trying to destroy the walls, trying to hit him horizontally rather than vertically. So that gives Bublo a slight extended buff for his lead, but it's still a very short lead as both of them go through Wily 5, which has Rainbow Road music.
It's only 3 Robot Masters lead, and Bublo is fishing really hard here, and dies actually. Both of them die. So this is gonna be really close, and I don't think I can bet here.
Well, I know Bublo might have a few lives in reserve. I don't know what Daggett's lives and E-Tank situation is. Well, he got plenty of E-Tanks, and of course he uses it. But if things go south for any one of them, the league can change hands in an instant. So we're gonna have to just wait and see what's gonna happen. Right now, this is probably an extremely contested match. Remember, Daggett has a 1-0 lead on Bublo. If Daggett wins this match, it will be a 2-0 victory, and Bublo will be sent down to losers.
Nobody wants to be a loser, so I can't see why CapitanBublo is trying so hard. He's using every weapon ammo, everything he has, just to just to kill those robot masters, but it's not happening, and he actually dies again.
This is why, personally, I would probably, at this point, just stick with Buster and keep note of the weaknesses you already found. If you're stuck digging for weaknesses, you wind up wasting too much time because due to the nature of the randomizer, the boss weaknesses are completely random. You don't know what weaknesses each boss is going to be using, if it's a hard weakness or a soft weakness. You'll have a much safer time probably just using Buster, simply because of the fact that four of the 8 robot masters are Buster weak. So you can pretty much just not worry about any unnecessary digging by just using Buster solely, as CapitanBublo takes a game over, putting Dagit in the lead.
I personally agree with your point, but I also have another thought that's called human factor. Some of the guys, when they die, they become really concerned and they lost track at what they do, and they lost their general progress track. They start to make tiny mistakes. They start to think about better stuff, which are not actually better, and mistakes happen here and there.
Wow, we got a double KO on Dagit's end. Actually, I don't remember if double KOs count for Robot Masters in Mega Man 2. I think they do.
It should be double KO. It should count. It should bring you right into the arena, and the boss master should be dead.
It's been a long time since I've seen it or had a situation like that myself, so I've pretty much forgotten if that was the case.
Let's hope he has enough lives to continue and doesn't die anymore, because yeah, it's really tough to die in refights. You must do them all over again, like CapitanBublo now.
Yeah, CapitanBublo is actually a very tough position. He has no more E-tanks, and he hasn't even gone to the Wily machine, and we don't know what the Wily machine is weak to. We can only pray for Bublo's sake that it's weak to Buster for both phases. Otherwise, the dig is gonna be really real. And actually, in my favor, Bublo, that it is not Buster weak. The machine not Buster weak. So Dagit has to do continued digging. And Dagit's weapon scenario is actually really bad.
Yeah, and due to CapitanBublo dying game overing, his weapons are now refilled fully. So let's see what happens. And it's quick boomerang, actually. Wow, the first phase.
He was lucky to find that on the first clip. He doesn't decide to check Buster. It should be wise for him to check Buster, but right now he has the E-tanks. He has a few sets of leeway. But if he was Buster weak the whole time, he probably is wasting his time.
Oh, the fish is real, and he found its air shooter. Let's see if he has enough ammo to do it. Yep. And he pulls through. He will go to the alien first. Wow, CapitanBublo actually takes another death on Airman, so he's struggling a lot.
So for right now, Dagit's weapon situation is really, really bad. We don't know what the alien weakness is, but he doesn't know he's in the lead, and he doesn't know that Bublo is really struggling on the refight. Right now, this is Dagit's race to win, simply because he's just simply in a safer position.
And CapitanBublo taking another death on Airman. He decided to use the vanilla weakness, which I think was Leaf Shield. He used it for the second fight, and this defensive Airman, it doesn't give him any chance. But he killed it this time with quick. Let's see how Dagit goes.
We got a green alien with a purple head. Nice combo. Well, at least we know he's not air weak, so that's not an issue, nor wood weak. So that's good ammo situations here. He's not weak to bubble. He better not be weak to quick boomerang again. Okay, we're good. He's not weak to boomerangs again. Not weak to charge heat.
Oh man, Flash. That happened.
He's weak to metal, but I think he has enough metal to finish him. Well, we don't know yet. No, he should have enough. But he can take another shot from the alien. And Dagit wins. He finishes the race with an official SRL time of 54 minutes and 34 seconds. GG's to Dagit. That gives him a 2-0 victory over CapitanBublo.
Yeah, good stuff from Dagit. He pulls out through the end with endurance, let's say, because he had really bad robos, but he kept his consciousness and he wins at the end. Meanwhile, CapitanBublo is really struggling with this refight, so I suggest people just clap for him because he will have to do this without E-tanks.
We're going to see if we can invite Dagit in for a short interview as we're still supporting CapitanBublo as he tries to finish what is to be a very rough situation in the Wily refights. Yeah, stand by as we try to get Dagit into the Discord for our interview right quick. And seems like we got Dagit in the Discord chat. GG's Dagit for the victory. Well, we had him.
Oh, that was fast.
Sorry about that. Thank you for the GGs.
So what was your opinion on these past rando races? But was there anything that tripped you up? Well, I know Airman in this seed pretty much gave you quite a bit of trouble.
Yeah, I felt like the 8 robos were pretty trolly in this seed. I think the last couple times I've done rando, Airman's been pretty easy, so I was like, it'll be fine. I'll go to Airman. I think I went there second, and I really should have waited. That was my lesson.
Yeah, Airman is one of the rougher stages to go through without items, any safety items. Well, the enemy set wasn't as bad because like I said, I don't want any Airman that have any fat phantom crabs. But it seemed like the birds, especially the birds, were really tripping you up in the Airman stage really bad.
Yeah. They were surprising me all over the place, and I feel like Airman is an especially bad stage to get the birds because they can spawn behind the clouds, and you don't realize they're there until an egg clobbers you into a hole.
So yeah, with that, you won your randomizer tournament at 2-0. You'll get to face the winner of whatever race is scheduled up. I'm gonna check the schedule to see what we got here. Yeah, actually, you're gonna be facing our tournament organizer, Charlie Boy, for the next round.
He just had a sub 30 today, or sub 40.
I don't think sub 30 is possible on this randomizer, but yeah, he got a 38 time, which is really good, considering he hasn't played it for a long time. I have 2 quick questions, if I may, for you. One is, as a new player, I ask every new contestant, every new runner of the randomizer, what do you generally think about the randomizer? What's your feel about it?
I think it's interesting. I have quite a bit of experience playing just the vanilla Mega Man 2, and it's I feel like it's good practice to see like the different enemy situations that you're not forced to face in a normal speedrun of the game.
Quickly keeping track of Bublo's progress. He just now finished the Wily machine and is now about to traverse into Wily 6. It was a really close fight. He almost died, but he was able to get to use the Metal Man weakness and beat the Wily machine. He should be on his way to beating the alien in just a few.
Yeah, I'm gonna wish him good luck. But the second question is gonna be, do you actually consider repicking air stage after a couple of robot masters, or you just quit it because you decided that's too scary right now, I'm gonna do it last?
Oh, with Airman?
Yeah, with Airman.
Yeah. So I think the main thing that I had in my mind at the time was I didn't want to get too tilted, and so if I like tried it again right away, I was worried that I would get tilted and then just sort of like really struggle, like in other stages that wouldn't normally be a problem for me.
Good job with that decision. I personally wouldn't change the stage because I'm a stubborn person, but good job on keeping your calm there. Meanwhile, CapitanBublo is actually fighting the alien, and he found that Metal Blade is the weakness.
CapitanBublo taking a death. He was firing really erratically, trying to desperately hit the alien before his life drained because he has no E-tanks. But unfortunately, takes the game over. But as a result, he has a fresh set of Metal Blades. So probably in a little bit this time, he'll probably actually defeat the alien.
And thank you again for doing this race, guys. You were really great, both of you. CapitanBublo still hasn't finished because he actually had an unfortunate death, but I'm pretty sure he will. But really good job to both of you. And Dagit, I'm gonna ask you just a trivial question. Are you considering learning zips, and are you considering learning harder strats and randomizer?
Yeah, there's a few zips that I know how to do, but for whatever reason, I didn't feel like I was in a situation to really do them today. I did do an accidental zip in Wily 4. I don't know if you saw that. It was very weird. But yeah, I would like to learn better strats. I know Squidman is really good with the randomizer and has quite a few tips and tricks, and I've been trying to learn from him.
So as we have just seen, CapitanBublo has finished his run with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 16 seconds. Unfortunately, since he was in second place, that, as we were saying, that gives Dagit the 2-0 victory over the good Capitan. But cheers for the good Capitan as he actually finishes. These are runs that really would tell several players that will probably forfeit matches or quit runs. So props to Bublo for sticking it out.
Yeah, absolutely, and that it's not over for Bublo as well. We will see CapitanBublo as well in the losers bracket. So keep in mind, all the guys that lose now, they will improve. I don't think they will leave this Mega Man 2 randomizer like this. They will improve and they will try their best in the losers bracket.
So yeah, we tried to get Bublo in for a quick interview, but it was late for him, so he won't be joining us. But we still want to thank Bublo for participating and giving us a good race. Same to you, Dagit. You performed very, very well, and like we saying, you get to move on to the winners.
Yeah, well, thank you, and thank you for commentating.
Not a problem.
Not an issue. I want to ask you before you leave, what's your thoughts about your coming match with Charlie?
I think that will be a hard match for me to win. I think Charlie is probably quite a bit more experienced with the rando than me. So I'm gonna have to train. I'm gonna have to practice.
And to wrap this up with OV Creed, I want to ask you if you have any shout-outs, anyone you want to thank, and anyone you want to just mention. Now is the right time to do it.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's a question for all of us, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna shout out to our racers, Dagit and Bublo, for giving us a decent 2-round race. Same for our other previous racer, Charlie Boy and Bob Dead Builder, for their continuation race. We had some pretty good, solid and excited races. Pretty interesting scenarios with our given seeds. Yeah, thanks to Speed Gaming for allowing us to showcase this randomizer tournament. Friesel and all the other support members, staff, the SRL staff, Duckfist for creating the randomizer that we all know, love, and continuously play. And for the most part, unless there's anything you want to add, talentless prodigy, Dagit, feel free to do so.
I was really grateful that Capitan, was able to race today. It was, exciting.
Well, thank you for coming by, Dagit, and I want to thank to everybody that's involved with this Mega Man tournament and in Mega Man in general. Keeping this game alive for so many years is really special, at least to me. I don't know if other people recognize that, but it's really special for me to keep these games alive. So shoutouts to everybody that plays and gets involved with this. And especially on the guys behind the scenes, because they do a lot of the dirty job. We just commentate and play, but the guys behind the scenes, they're golden. So shout outs to everybody, and that's it from me. Have a good night, everybody, and I'll let Creed do the last words.
Yeah, for talentless, this is LV Creed. Have a good rest of the evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you may be in this world of ours. See you the next time when we have our next tournament race. And this is us signing out.